The most fun and most consistent wrestling show continues with the 24th of October edition of WWE NXT Halloween Havoc Night 1. That is a mouthful, of course. Next week is Night 2. And you know what? We had a fun show tonight. NXT delivers. See, honestly, I'm not saying it's great, right? Or even like, good to a level of like, that was good wrestling in terms of the spear of wrestling from back in the day, comparing it to Attitude Eras. But see, in 2023, you will not get a more fun wrestling show to watch than NXT. There's banter, there's actually like relevant pop culture references. I think you've got a really good blend of old and new on NXT. Obviously, they don't have, Cena and Taker appearing. Oh wait, they did have that for a week and it was great. But it's just refreshing to see all these new ideas. And, the amount of praise that get put on Triple H when he was in NXT going up against Vince's two brands. It's like, oh, the developmental's so much better. Now that Triple H has got both of the main roster shows and Shawn Michaels is running NXT, Shawn Michaels is absolutely smoking Triple H, especially when it comes to Monday Night Raw. Anyway, though, first match, we've got Roxanne Perez taking on Kiana James in a Devil Playground match. And like I said, wasn't a technical masterclass, but there was like a swing set at ringside. And honestly, it's one of the first times in wrestling I can actually think of them using a swing set as weapons. Like, you've got them holding onto the swing, drop kicks. Just a fun match. We've got trash cans. James had a massive slash down her fucking head. Looked brutal, like a big welt. Good match though. We've got laptop spots as well. But Perez manages to win eventually where the Pop Rocks on the loaded purse bag for the 1, 2, 3. And just a good way to kick off the show. Now the bad stuff is, for me, you've got like Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett essentially being the host of this, and for some reason Shotzi Blackheart is the host every year. Like, what's the reason? Is it just to give her something to fucking do? It's not like she's brilliant. It's not like they're getting The Rock back every year to host this. I mean, we're getting Shotzi Blackheart. Do not understand this. Noam Dar and his crew's in this segment, and then in the background we see Akira Tozawa steal the Heritage Cup. But then a Vic Joseph sit-down interview, pre-recorded one, with Carmelo Hayes, and I enjoyed this. Of course, Trick Williams got battered last week, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it, and he's like, it wasn't me. There's no way it would be me. Yes, we're going for the same title, but there's no way I would hit my best friend. I can see a heel turn for Carmelo Hayes, honestly, because I think we've seen it with Braun Breaker. They had to turn him heel to keep him on NXT long term, so I think they're probably going to have to do the same with Carmelo Hayes to keep him on NXT long term. But you know what? I enjoyed this segment. And then we go to our second match. We've got Lexis King, taking on Dante Chen, of course, Brian Pillman Jr., but he doesn't want you to remember him as Brian Pillman Jr. or anything to do with Brian Pillman Jr. That deadbeat bastard. No. He just wants you to remember Lexis King, and he picks up the victory here against Dante Chen. We then cut to our third match. We've got Kalana Jordan taking on Arena Grace in a semi-final round match of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Kalana Jordan wins. And here, you know what? I'd rather see two new superstars put on like a sloppy match rather than two bums that we've seen for most of our time. Like, see these two having a match. There's like no difference between these two having a match and like two jobbers on fucking AEW that are like in their 40s but been on the indies their entire life. The only difference is these guys are fresh on the scene, and it's actually, there could be something in the future. See having Roderick Strong in the main event scene, that's doing nothing for nobody, man. Honestly. But Kalina Jordan wins. Von Wagner has a vignette. He says next week on NXT, Robert Stone's going to have a match with Braun Breaker. And again, like, why are we going to call Braun Breaker up, man? Like, is it because of what Rick Steiner said? I mean, it has to be. I can't see any other explanation why the guy wouldn't be getting called up. Seriously, do not get it. But you know what? It's time to spin the wheel, make the deal. And next week, the Creed brothers will battle Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo in a tables, ladders, and scares match. What does the scares mean? I mean, like, it rhymes with chairs, so that's what it makes sense. And Fraser then, in a wee vignette of his own, Nathan Fraser says that he's going to dethrone Dominic Mysterio Last year's Halloween Havoc was damn shit for me. This year's going to be different gravy. We then have the fourth match of the evening. We have got Tony D and Channing Lorenzo taking on um, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson for the NXT tag team titles. You know what? I really enjoyed this match. And I know what, as much as I love the family and the dawn of NXT, right? I really do like them. I think Andre Chase deserves championship gold and Chase University for that matter. I genuinely think that. We then have Baron Corbin backstage, and he says that Ilya Dragunov better have his head on a shovel if he retains next week. So there you go, Big Baron. He's coming for that belt, and he fucking wants it. With then Blair Davenport against Gigi Dolan in a lights out match. This didn't do anything for me, if I'm being honest. I just don't really rate either of these two. I think they're both fucking weirdos, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, moving on though, because we have this match. I mean, it's just I don't even want to talk about it that long. Blair Davenport wins. Again, I mean, at least JCG is moving on with Thea Hale, but Gigi Dolan, she can continue to be with Clown Boots. Fucking what's his name? Darby Allen. Clown Boots. Darby Allen. That's exactly it. Um, and then we see Fallon Henley dressing up as Tiffany Stratton. I thought was funny, and see Tiffany Stratton. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, she's pretty hot. Then I look at her face and it's like she's got a weird structure to her face, like a fucking like the Predator. And is that the day with all the plastic? Who know? And Ilya Dragunov cuts his sit down interview promo just like Carmelo Hayes did. It wasn't quite as good, if I'm being honest. Lola Fice with Elektra Lopez is taking on Carmen Petrovic in the semi-final round. Similar to the opener, I mean they're very similar matches, but I think this one was a wee bit shorter. Lola Fice does win, so we've got a Lola Fice inserting herself into the final of this tournament. I mean, who's realistically going to win this match? I mean, I don't really know, if I'm being honest. I mean, because on the other hand, you've got Kalina Jordan, Lola Fice. I think that Lola Fice, it seems like they're going to be pushing her a wee bit, to be honest. Right, so moving on, we get Chelsea Green and Piper Niven interrupting Chase U's championship celebrations backstage. So this looks like this is going to lead to another 2-on-2 women's tag team match. Oh, yeah. Who knows what's going on? Braun Breaker then pokes fun at Carmelo Hayes, and it's like, these guys just can't really escape each other, to be honest. And then Braun's like, you know what, Robert Stone, I'm going to put you in the hospital. But Mello, you keep doing your thing. So I think they definitely are teasing Breaker heel turn. And then we have our main event, guys. We have Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyrie. And I can't believe it, but Lyra Valkyrie wins the match. And I think this is going to be Becky Lynch done. I think, well, I say done. I don't mean she's retiring, but I think this is the end of this run, whatever you want to call it. I think she's going to take some time off, probably to like the Rumble. I don't really see what else they've got going for her, so that's probably what they're going to do. And that's pretty much where our show ends. Now, before we end the review, that was a good match. It was alright. Let's talk about Night 2 Halloween Havoc card. We've got the Creed Brothers taking on Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Like I said earlier, tables, ladders, and scares match. Dominic Mysterio against Nathan Fraser for the North American Championship. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven against JC Jane and Thea Hale for the women's tag titles. Braun Breaker taking on Robert Stone. We have got Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henry. We've got Kalina Jordan, Lola Fice in the finals of the tournament, and Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. You can definitely see that Night 2 next week is being pushed a hell of a lot more than Night 1. Not that it's a groundbreaking amount, but you can clearly see what I'm on about here. But anyway, guys, I am going to give this show a solid 4 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I mean, 4 might seem low, but guys, if you see our ratings for current wrestling, You know a four's good. So until then, peace.